Hello again, folks. Today's video mainly aimed at people that might be thinking about coming here in the high season, which incidentally starts early next month. The official high season starts, and Pattaya could really do with a good turnout for high season, but we'll get into that in a moment. So the question is, can you afford to come to Pattaya for the high season? Now, I got around to thinking about this yesterday, which was Friday, and typically on a Friday we like to eat fish for no other reason, and it's kind of, I know it's traditional, but it's just something that I've done for many years, and of course all the restaurants and bars and eateries, etc., they put on special deals on a Friday with their fish and chips, etc., so it's a good time to eat fish. And I particularly like fish, in actual fact. Just going off in a tangent for a moment, you know, I done many years in the Royal Navy, and during that time I spent a couple of years on a fishery protection vessel called HMS Lindisfarne, and we used to circumnavigate the UK from right up from the starting up in the Orkneys and Shetlands and coming down and both sides of the North Sea and the Irish Sea and the Channel, of course, and we spent it in the summer. We'd spend a lot of time around the Isle of Man, etc., when all the herring were running. And the purpose of the ship and the job was that we inspected a lot of the fishing boats that were working in these key areas within the UK waters to make sure that they were obeying the rules for whatever rules were applicable to them for whatever they were fishing for. And there's quite a few rules for fishing boats operating in the UK waters. And we used to send boarding parties over to do things like check their nets and check what they were catching, and they weren't exceeding their quotas that they were allowed to catch, etc. All these things. And yeah, we used to catch a few illegal ones and take them into port, etc., and they would go to court and get fined and sometimes lose a lot of their gear, the nets and things. But anyway, hello Daisy, hello Daisy. A lot of them would sit. A lot of these boats, as we completed their inspections, they would then offer us a basket of fish to take back to the ship. Now, the Lindisfarne only had a crew of about 40 odd, so a basket of fish was significant to us because the baskets were quite big. And consequently, because we were out on patrol for a couple of months at a time, I love fish so much I could eat fish 3 times a day. And when we were on patrol, I quite often did eat fish 3 times a day because it was wonderful getting all this fresh halibut, turbot, the big flatfish, the plaice, the fresh haddock, the fresh cod, straight from the cold waters of the North Sea or the further north. It was absolutely delicious food and top notch. Good that we got my big box of Daisy here, and my birds come to see as usual what I'm doing. Anyway, back to my story about why I'm asking if you can afford to come to Pattaya. Yesterday, for a change, I decided that we were going to go to one of our favorite seafood restaurants, which is about 20 miles down the coast from Pattaya, a village called Banampur, which used to be a fishing village in its own right, as they all did, Pattaya and Naklua and Jomtien, etc. They all used to be fishing villages years and years ago. But there's a seafood restaurant we go down to there, and it's normally super food. And we went there yesterday, and once again, the food that we had was absolutely superb, absolutely delicious. You'll see a bit of it here in the video. Anyway. But what I did notice is for a Friday afternoon, which is quite a popular afternoon for officers and things to go out and get their food, it was dead. It was quiet. There was hardly anybody there, as you'll see by the video there. And it made me think, well, why? Obviously, we know that the tourist levels in Pattaya are significantly down, but there was no Thais there either. And then, when I was looking through the menu, I could see also that the prices were significantly up from what I remember recently, up maybe 20-30%, which is a lot of money, and it increases the price of the meal significantly when you're out with a crowd, and obviously. So maybe that's got a lot to do with it as well as the prices.
Oh, yeah.
As I said before, we're just actually coming out of low season, officially coming out of low season, and the town is dead. I'm told that Pattaya is the worst it's been since the pandemic, and probably in living memory. The amount of tourists in Pattaya, the bars, the hundreds of bars that they've got down there, a lot of them lying empty, a lot of them are up for sale, a lot of them have gone bust, and it's quite a sad story actually for the bars down there. And I know there's a lot of people that will be hanging on, desperately hanging on, hoping that they're going to see a turn in their fortunes in the high season when it starts next month, and we'll see about that. Really what I don't understand is all these businesses and bars going bust in Pattaya is that the rate that they're building new bars, and there's dozens of them being built. Right as I speak, there's dozens of bars being built in preparation for high season, and even if they had a reasonable high season, they've got too many bars as it is, and you know that if the customer level doesn't change, but the service outlet, the number of bars change, then it's going to dilute the customers for the bars that are all around. So it's a problem in itself. And when you look at the not only the bars, but the go-go bars and the nightclubs and the restaurants, etc., they're all affected. But there's another interesting aspect also, is that the demographic of the tourists are changing, in that, you know, we're seeing a lot of Chinese. Chinese are probably becoming the most prominent group of tourists in the town, closely followed by India and Korea, and of course the Russians are here. And all these people, they're building the numbers up, and they're filling up the hotels, and they're buying the condominiums. Excuse me. And they're buying the condominiums, but they're not frequenting the bars and the entertainment areas like the Westerners would do. And we're not seeing the Westerners coming, and are we going to see them? You know, living here in Pattaya, I tend to, because I don't really get out much now, I'm kind of at home a lot more than I would like to be. I watch a lot of not only the UK news, but I watch the global news. You know, I'm watching the US, what's happening there, obviously with the elections and things at present. She's going up in her cage today. Good girl. And also other international news. And I see that this problem that they're going through the UK at the moment with the economic crisis and prices and all the rest of it, it's not limited to the UK. Actually, it's a global problem. I hear Australians complaining about the prices in Australia. I hear them talking about it in the US. It seems like it's a whole global problem, the international thing. And I guess a lot of that's been driven by the problems they are having, you know, with the Middle East, the conflicts there, and the also in Ukraine. All these are affecting things, and they're affecting energy prices, predominantly energy prices, and that's of course driving prices up for everything, and it's making it very hard, including here in Thailand. Another significant problem we have at the moment, and I don't know if it's going to change before the high season in November, but at the moment the Thai baht is very, very strong, very strong. And before, where we've had up in the last few months, we've had up to 47 baht to £1. Just now we're down to 43 point something or other. And that's a significant drop, and of course that will reflect very, very much so in the buying power of your pound or your dollar or whatever your local currency is from wherever you're coming. It's going to affect it and put the prices up significantly for what you're wanting to pay. You know, these it's the bars and the restaurants are the worst affected, you know. The hotels are not doing so bad. Hotels, because of the attitude in Pattaya and the very good governance actually here in Pattaya, you know, and nearly every weekend there's something big happening here that attracts tourists from all over. They come down from Bangkok in huge numbers, etc. From Friday lunchtime to Sunday night, the city is mobbed. It's packed out from Jomtien up through Pattaya Central down to Naklua. Everything is chock-a-block, and the hotels have a very high occupancy rate, so they've no reason to drop the prices to try and attract more people to come in. They're getting the customers, so that's significant, and that's going to roll over into the high season as well. Because if they continue like that, then people that are trying to get here, they're not going to save significantly on their hotels. So where are they going to make savings? In the bars, maybe, because the bars, they've now adopted longer, or they've introduced or made longer their happy hours, where they restrict the prices of beers, etc., down to try and attract customers in during the day, etc., with the hope that they're going to stay on longer and bring in at least some income into their establishments. The prices are kept very good during these happy hours, and you know it's obviously the losers in producing these happy hours are the bar owners themselves, because they're probably paying an increase in the beer that they're buying. They're selling it for a price that they were maybe selling it for the last few years. I see 50 baht to a bottle of Chang, Leo, Singer, etc. 55 baht, maybe sometimes 60, around that area during that amount during the happy hours. So they're paying more, they're not getting more money, so they're losing income, and it's as easy as that. At least they're getting some income, even if it's minimal. It's really not good. I've even heard of complaints of people complaining about the prices of renting condominiums for maybe a month or 5-6 weeks for an extended stay over high season, and also the prices of Airbnb. And a lot of people who live here have had their fingers burned with Airbnb, that they've rented houses, bought houses, and then advertised them as Airbnb, hoping to make some sort of profit with the coming high season. But it's all turning a bit sour at the moment, so I hear. And then, of course, we've got flights. I was hearing only yesterday that the prices of flights from Europe, etc., are on the increase for the high season. A lot of people thought they might, because the tourist levels are down, they thought they might restrict the prices of flights, and it would attract more people during high season. But the prices of flights are on the increase. If you're bringing a family, if you're coming as a family, then you know your costs are really, really high. And I've experienced that this year when I took my family to Scotland. I was shocked at what we were actually paying, and I might make another video on that soon about the problems we experienced going from here to Europe, Scotland in particular. So just to wind this video up, you know, I've got to say that I'm not so optimistic about the high season being the savior. In fact, I think it's going to be a little bit of a washout, and a lot of these poor people that have invested heavily, stupidly in a lot of occasions, and a lot of instances rather, people should have stayed well clear seeing what was happening. They've invested a lot of money in the hope that the high season is going to bring. And I'm very optimistic that, well, I'm pessimistic actually, because I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen, and I think we're going to have a very low high season, similarly as we did last year. It just didn't happen the way they thought it was going to be, and it was a bit tragic. So what do you think? Are you considering coming to Thailand or Pattaya during the high season, maybe for Christmas and New Year? Let me know. Let me know how you're getting on with booking hotels and flights, etc. And do you think because the prices have gone up here, everything is going up. You know, your price of food, etc. So it's going to cost more than it did last year if you did come last year. But as the global trend is, it's happening here in Thailand as well. So let me know what you think and what your plans are. It'd be interesting to find out what you think. So that's today's video, and thank you very, very much for watching. Take care for now. Bye.